Steve Sarkisian, welcome to the Seth Davis Show. I want to get the pronunciation of your name right. Did I do okay?
Did great. From here on out, Coach Sark.
Coach Sark, that's good. Well, we're in the media when we're criticizing you and ripping you and second-guessing
exactly
you.
right.
The least we could do is say your name right.
So that's
Coach
polite.
Sark,
yeah, that's great.
Sarkisian, welcome to the Seth Davis Show. It's so cool to be with you here at USC, and obviously you're no stranger to these parts in this part of the country. You spent 7 years here as an assistant coach, 2 different stints. You're 5 years as a head coach at the University of Washington, so now first time head coach, USC. Does it feel as different as it sounds?
I mean, it's obviously different. It's very humbling. You think back to Howard Jones, John McKay, John Robinson, Pete Carroll, and being born and raised in Southern California and following SC football to be here as the head coach. It's really humbling. But I'm glad I got that experience as an assistant for 7 years and in a tremendous era of SC football. So it's exciting. It's fun. I embrace it every day. For me, this is the best job in America, to be home and coaching at one of the elite, if not the elite programs in the country. It's an awesome opportunity.
Were you an SC fan growing up, or what was where'd your loyalties lie?
I was, oddly enough, and I had 2 older sisters that went to UCLA. So I used to give them a hard time all the time too, but it's a great rivalry. But I've always loved SC football. I've always loved what it stood for, the tough, hard-nosed mentality, and it's, like I said, it's almost a dream come true.
A lot more pressure to become a head coach, more pressure at SC than Washington. I know there was a lot at Washington. Are you feeling that yet?
Not really. You know what you get into. When I went to the University of Washington, I was inheriting an 0-12 football team, so the expectation level was a bit different, and we gradually got better, and we ended up going to 4 consecutive bowl games and finishing ranked in the top 25 and all those things. I'm inheriting a 10-win football team here, so I think you're just realistic in why you're hired, the job you're getting hired for and to do, and if you don't understand what the expectations here at SC are, you shouldn't come. And you choose to come here to be the best, to be unique, to be special. And I'm not just talking in football. I'm talking in every sport. I'm talking on campus. This is a wonderful place. But when you choose to come here, you're choosing this. You're choosing here for something different, for a different experience. And so when I chose to take this job in December, I knew what I was getting into. And so I haven't really let those things be a burden to me. I've embraced them. I know what the tasks are, but I also know what's expected of us.
Obviously, every job has its own, burdens and challenges, and this one here coming off of the sanctions and the reduced scholarships. So you have, 65 players on scholarship this season? How much of a debilitating challenge is that? They only put 11 on the field.
Yeah,
at the same time,
that's
so
exactly right. I
65
mean, it is as much as we want to make it out to be, and I've really tried to make it a point since I've been here of focusing on what we do have, not what we don't. I think that was a little bit of a shift culturally for the way people are talking, not just in our football world, but kind of campus-wide. And I'll tell you what, I'll take our 65 any day of the week. These guys can play. They're tough. They're smart. And, obviously we have to be smart in how we practice with them and how we deal with them. We've really taken on somewhat of an NFL model in our approach to practice. But when we do go, these guys go hard. And as I said earlier, I wouldn't trade them for anybody.
You've talked about wanting to speed things up here, especially offensively. This obviously is where college football is going, right? Faster, shorter time between plays, and there's this whole big debate. This rule change was proposed in the offseason about trying to slow it down. It seems to me that broke down to competitive advantage. The guys who want to play slow, the Nick Sabans of the world, were advocating a rule that would slow things down. Right. Guys such as yourself or Art Briles or Rich Rodriguez, who wanted the game to be played faster, wanted to speed things up. Where are you coming down in terms of how this should be adjudicated by the refs?
Well, here's where I came from. I was on that world of huddle up every day, or every play, and pro-style approach and all those things. And I came to the realization 2 years ago, we'd be foolish not to go fast. The rules tell us you should use tempo to dictate what you're doing offensively. And until they change that rule or those rules, that's what we're going to do. I think that the 10-second rule proposal got a little bit blown out of proportion. I was at the national championship game with Florida State and Auburn. Both teams went no huddle the entire game, and there were 2 plays snapped in that game with less than 10 seconds being run off the clock. So to think, hey, here's a 10-second rule, everyone's going to stop being a no-huddle team, I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's in football right now. I think we're seeing it spread some into the NFL. Obviously, with Chip going into the NFL and what he's doing with the Eagles, and we're seeing a little bit more of it with some other teams, obviously what Denver's doing with Peyton. So it is part of our game, but it's not brand new. It was in Buffalo for many years with Jim Kelly. It was in Cincinnati with Boomer Esiason, and they were doing it. So it's not completely new. Everybody's putting their own little wrinkle on it, and the college rules tell us we really should be doing it because it's an advantage.